Morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. We had a good work day today. A little bit shorter practice. Continued to work your situational ball. Just a little bit of a modified Wednesday. Still went good on good. A lot of good special teams fundamental work. Continuing to work to improve in all those details and the fundamental aspects of the game. I thought our guys. We're putting some good situations and continuing to learn and get better with each opportunity out there on the practice field. So thought it was a good day. Tomorrow will be an off day for them, and then we'll come back on Friday with a kind of a shortened practice, but kind of really get more of an introduction into Miami for our players as we continue to progress there with our coaching staff on early game plans. So with that, questions. All right, see. Oh.
First question will be Irish Hotel from War Champ.
I know you spoke mostly about the offense yesterday. Defensively, obviously there were, I wouldn't say coverage breakdowns, but they were able to complete a lot of passes. How did you guys evaluate the pass coverage both in man and in zone?
I think there's some things, in some of our zone coverages, we got to tighten up some of the underneath things, that we were doing. I thought they did a nice job of throwing and catching in some situations. Obviously, we were able to create a couple takeaways, with those same type of coverages, and so there were definitely some positives. And they had a couple plays where their guys did a nice job of throwing and catching and putting their ball in the right place. I think that we can continue to definitely improve, and it's good to get that game situation to see. The opportunities when we did it the right way, what it looked like, and times where we were maybe lapsed in focus or the technique of what we needed to apply, how that can put you in a challenging situation. So, that's something we're definitely continuing to work and improve on.
Next will be Brennan Seminoles from Knowles 247.
Hey, Mike, the stat line that Amari Gainer put up seemed really impressive. I guess going back and watching him play, did the stats match the production?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Amari was a guy that really stood out throughout the course of the game. Loved the effort, the physicality that he played with. There was a couple of just extraordinary plays that he had. Fighting through blocks, creating TFLs. You really kind of felt his presence out there on the field, and it was great to see that in live action.
Coach, the game ultimately was a one-score, one-possession game. Do you then look at things, when it's a one-score, one-possession game that you lose, is it something that you can say, hey, if we just change one or two personnel things, we're fine? Or do you look at it as we had the right places and the right pieces out there, we just need to improve on them?
Through the course of every game, there's unique events that occur. And, I look at every aspect in games that you win by 3 touchdowns or games you lose by a point. It all is going to be evaluated. There's a lot of things that were out of our control in regards to personnel or pieces that are in place or things that we've got to continue to build upon with what we're asking our guys to do schematically, and but there's probably 20, I'd probably say 20 plays throughout the course of the game that if anything, if it would have had a different result in regards to how we executed or just a communication execution, that the outcome of the game would have been different. But it's going to be the same in every game that you play. That they'll always come down to a handful of plays that provide you an opportunity to win big or to come up short.
We'll go back to Ira from War Champ.
I know you guys haven't started working with the players yet on Miami stuff, but having faced an athletic quarterback, a guy who can really move around, I would assume that's some sort of good preparation going into a game against a guy like Derek King, who obviously can have success both with his legs and his arm.
Yeah, Derek King's he's a special player. He's a young man I've watched for a few years, and I think he's one of the most dynamic players in college football. So he it'll be a little bit different than what we just saw, but he's very, very talented in all aspects.
Next will be Gene Williams from War Champ.
Hey, Coach. If you're able to get Hamza back, hopefully you're going to be able to work on in practice a little bit and get him back from it. What does that do to your secondary to have a guy as a senior who's a leader of his caliber for you?
I mean, anytime you have an impactful player that you like Hamza, that has the versatility and all that he does, in both the run game and the passing game, it's such a great dynamic to add, as well as you mentioned his leadership ability and just who he is as a person. I mean, it definitely will be giving us a big boost, so we're excited about it.
Go back to Brendan from 247.
Did Travis Jay give you guys the boost you were hoping for in the return game? And if so, is that something you look at trying to get the ball in his hands more often throughout the course of the game, maybe beyond like returns and whatnot?
I think Travis did some good things. Showed some flash plays. I think we were close in a couple of situations to really have that game changing play, and so we're going to continue to develop. And he's working in all aspects of ball security and everything that he's doing, making sure that he can continue to improve and get better. But I think Travis is a special talent and a young man that can do a lot of different things.
Go back to Ira from Warchant.
Do you expect, we were hearing some positive things about some of the younger receivers in camp, and I know it's a big difference between practice to games, but do you expect some of the younger receivers like Kentron, some of those guys to get possibly more opportunities as the season works on?
Yeah, they're continuing to develop, and we got Brian Robinson back out this. We're able to get him, his first real extensive work the last couple of days. Coming off injury from camp, and it's been good seeing him out there moving around. Obviously, Kentron's been very steady throughout camp. He's kind of had his moments where some of the ups and downs, and he's really I think gaining confidence in what he's being asked to do. Play in and play out, and I think there is potential for him to be able to make an impact for us this year. Darian is really coming along as well, so it's been good to see some of those young guys just continue with their growth and improvement, and we're expecting big things. I'm hopeful that we can get some some impact out of them here this year, but just more than anything else, just a continued improvement.
Could be Bob Ferrante from the Osceola.
Hey, Coach, yesterday you mentioned Robert Scott, Thomas Schroeder, they weren't available for Georgia Tech. Are they able to practice? Do you think they would be available for Miami?
I feel that they will be, and so I'm excited about you getting those guys back. And that, like I mentioned yesterday, that kind of took a hit on the offensive line, front with just the overall depth that we had, and then having to kind of get into that throughout the course of the game. You put us in some challenging situations, but fully expect that those guys will be back and ready.
Next will be Kurt Weiler from Tallahassee Democrat.
Hey, Coach, similar question actually, but about a couple DBs I think y'all were counting on that weren't dressed out for Saturday's game. Guys like Nico, Jarvis, you kind of expect them to be available here in the near future?
Yes, I do. I mean, obviously, Jarvis is coming along. Practice today was good to see him back in action, and Miko is continuing to work his way back into that. We're hopeful that he'll be available here in the next couple weeks, but we'll see how that continues to go.
Last one, we'll go back to Avalon from Warchant.
Coach, if your defensive ends can't, organically get pressure, I mean, does that put pressure on Adam and you guys to either work on better coverage sort of looks, or do you try to manufacture and maybe leave yourself a little bit more vulnerable and be a little bit more aggressive in bringing other guys to rush the passer?
Say the question again.
When the defensive ends aren't able to sort of, do their job and apply pressure on a quarterback, does that just mean that the secondary needs to be better in coverage, or do you have to take more risks and bring pressure from other people?
The better pressure you get on the quarterback usually allows the defensive backs. It all works together. It's able to help them out, forcing the ball out quicker, and obviously we're going to have our pressure packages that we're trying to create. Trying to impact the quarterback in a lot of different ways, and so really kind of works hand in hand. The less guys that you can rush and still get pressure on the quarterback obviously helps you throughout the course of the game. And I believe in our guys that we have up front. I think our defensive line has to be one of the strengths of this football team, and we need to continue to do a better job of getting to the quarterback and making an impact there.